What's up, FutureDDS family? So today we have a special guest for you all, our friend Dr. Luke Shapiro. He's actually an orthodontic resident, and he's actually going to be interviewing with us today to answer some questions for those of you all who are interested in specializing. So thanks again for interviewing with us today, man.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. So Luke, go ahead and give us your background information, where you went to undergrad, where you went to dental school, things like that.
So I'm from New York City. I went to undergrad in WashU in St. Louis, and then I went to dental school at Stony Brook in New York, and now I'm here for my orthodontic residency.
Okay, so he obviously likes the cold, obviously. So we also want to know, you and your friends, we don't know this yet, what happened to you within dental school that made you actually want to specialize?
So my dad's a dentist, and so he has a lot of dental friends, and so I shadowed a bunch of them trying to figure out like what specialty I wanted to do, and it just kind of appealed to me. Like I do like everything about dentistry. I'm not one of those orthodontists that like hates extracting teeth or hates doing fillings, but I liked the whole treatment planning philosophy and the technology and like kind of solving puzzles. And we really don't get exposed to that much of orthodontics in dental school, so I always thought it would be like a really powerful treatment planning tool.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So, what was actually the process of applying? Like, did you have to get a bunch of recommendations? Like, what was that whole process like?
So you have to take the GRE. I don't know why.
Sounds
like backwards a little bit.
Yeah, that's really weird.
You take the GRE basically because boards are pass-fail now. Mm-hmm. They're just like looking for another way to grade you, and some schools, like a few schools, require the ADAT, but it's not really a popular thing. So mostly it's GRE in your grades and your recommendations and just your extracurricular activities, and you start like trying to get everything together. I'd say around like your midway through your third year, because you need to submit all your applications like by the summer after your third year. You need like 2 recommendation letters, sometimes, or minimum 2, but normally you get like 4. You need to like have research, and you have to like send a picture to some schools, and just like a bunch of random stuff. But
bunch of like
supplemental stuff.
So when you were applying, like in general, I know a lot of people always ask this question: what would you say would be the minimum GPA? We know it's high, of course, but we have some classmates who are even around the 3.6 range, and they're stressed. They don't know if they're even in competition because of their GPA being low. So what do you think about that?
So first off, Stony Brook, there's like 40 people in a class, and so there was no class rank or GPA. I think that was because it would just be like too competitive and too crazy. And a lot of schools are like that are just pass-fail. So I wouldn't say like grades are everything, but at the same time, I know there's a lot of orthodontic programs that are like, I'm only taking the number 1 or 1, 2, or 3 from this school. So my advice, I guess, my advice would be like, just do your best, but like don't stress out, because like it's hard to do perfectly or be the best in everything. And I think if you focus more on like building better relationships with like faculty and your classmates, and doing research, and being like a more well-rounded person, and going to like shadow places, just like getting to meet different people, I think that's more important.
More priority.
Yeah.
So networking is definitely an aspect that
networking and research and like doing well in your classes.
Right, of course, right.
At least trying. What I'm saying is like if you don't do well in one class, like don't sweat it, and like do not be competitive with your classmates. Like that's like the worst thing. And the dental community is so small, like everyone's gonna know that like you're that gunner.
Right.
And I don't know, you might do well in that one class that you were gunning for, but like I don't think it will help you in the long run.
And so you said being well-rounded, extracurriculars. Like, did you do any? And if you were to recommend some extracurriculars for somebody, I mean, like, what would you recommend?
For ortho, like definitely research. At my school, it was really easy. At Stony Brook, you just like would just knock on the faculty's door and be like, "Hey, like, let me join you." Here at Tufts, it seems pretty easy too. If if you go to Tufts, like come to the ortho floor and just like hang out and shadow, like get to know everybody. Or any school, I would do that too. What else is there? I was a part of ASDA, very involved in ASDA. I mean, it's just like a fun thing to do. Like,
right, no, it is.
You went to NLC.
Really fun. Y'all should all do it.
Definitely. NLC is like the best conference ever. Life changing.
It's fun.
So yeah, that's it.
Okay, and so you applied to schools. What was the defining factor that made you want to decide on Tufts, or what was that one attribute for each school that you really looked at? Was it the class size? Was it the faculty? Like, what did you really pay attention to while you were looking at all your different options?
So there's about like 60 ortho schools. I applied to 20 just because they were in cities.
Okay.
I was like, I really want to be in a city, so that's how I got down to like 20 or so. And then I went on the interviews, and I really liked Tufts because, I mean, the ortho clinic here is beautiful. It's like overlooking Boston,
awesome.
like glass windows, brand new everything. They have 3D printers and scanners, and the technology is really amazing. And it's only 2 years. So most ortho programs are 3 years.
Yeah, I thought it was 3.
Yeah, most are 3. There's like less than 10 that are 2.
Take notes.
And like the faculty and the students were all super nice too.
I guess quick question: how many students are in your cohort?
So there's 8 of us total,
Okay.
and then you can do like an optional third year. That's a master's. Last thing I want to add, like why I love Tufts, is the clinic aspect. So a lot of schools, you take classes like all morning, and then you're in clinic in the afternoon. But I was just like done with class, and at Tufts you're in clinic all morning and all afternoon. So you kind of like learn on the go, and then you just teach yourself like at night, like you read articles and whatnot. I mean, we have classes like from 8 to 9 every day and during lunch, but it's not like all morning, like for 3 hours, because I just like could not do that.
Right. It's a lot. So classes. I mean, what type of classes are you taking? Like, what are some of the classes?
We're taking biomechanics. We're taking like orthognathic surgery. We're taking like some basic classes again, like anatomy, biostats, epidemiology. But that's biomechanics, I'd say, is like the main one, and like just learning about all the different appliances and how to like actually move teeth.
So I guess how many people are actually in your cohort? Like, or I guess on average, how many people are in an ortho cohort? And do you like that? Do you prefer that over, the amount of students you had in your dental school?
So it's still small. Each ortho class normally has between like 1 and 20, and we have 8, so we're like average. And my class is awesome. Like literally everyone in my class is like so nice and helping and smart, and so that's been really great. Yeah.
So, what's something that you've encountered within this orthodontic program that you didn't necessarily think that you would? Like, what surprised you about becoming an orthodontist?
I guess I didn't realize how much I did not know.
I realize that every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Just like moving teeth, like biomechanics is like, it's so extensive, and I think that's kind of like why the reason they don't really teach you anything in dental school, because like it's hard to just like skim the surface. And so it's just like this whole other field, and it's really interesting, but it's like it's a lot. It's 2 years of like just that learning. So.
Right.
Yeah, that is intense.
Yeah.
So, being a second year dental student now, getting into our specialty courses, what's one thing I guess you would have focused on or would have known, to really pay attention to now, getting into those type of courses that help you more now, or that become beneficial?
Okay. So I think like no matter what kind of dentist you want to be, whether a specialist or a general dentist, definitely pay attention to your classes, because when you're doing referrals and talking to other dentists and at other conferences, like the more knowledge you know, like you're just like so much of a better dentist. And I think in ortho, like in my ortho classes in dental school, I just like saw the cephs, and I was just like what is this? Like why are we doing this?
Right.
And if you just like, if you have knowledge and like can just like knowledgeably or like, I don't know, intelligently talk about another specialty, like it just gives you like so much of a head up, and then eventually you can like maybe even start doing some things like in other specialties, or you can like get more referrals or like work with more specialists. So I think it'll help you much more in the long run.
So do you I guess a lot of people say about specialties, or some people say the knock on specialties is that you kind of limit what you're able to do. Is that really like a myth in ortho? Like, because I know ortho you have to deal with a lot of different things beforehand before you even get to orthodontic treatment. Like, is it like one thing that orthodontists do so that they can actually do a lot more, take care of a lot of those preliminary things before they actually get into orthodontic treatment? Or do they prefer to, or like, I guess in your instance, have you seen people refer it out a lot more?
So from my understanding, if you promote yourself and say practice limited to orthodontics or periodontics or whatever, then you can only do things related to your specialty. So like, if I say that, then I can't do like a class 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
But at the same time, like as an orthodontist, like, do I want to do a class 2, or like, do I want to be able to, refer that to another dentist, develop that relationship, and then, we're both getting patients.
True.
So I'm not doing fillings or anything, but I am, we are placing TADs, which are like mini implants. Oral surgeons like also do that too. We are doing some lasers, like gingivectomies. We're doing, some people, if they have like congenitally peg laterals or missing laterals, we could do the Maryland Bridge, or we could build it up in composite. So like, we're still dentists. You don't want to like step out of your specialty, but there's ways to get around it so that like you have like a group practice, and so it's not like leaving. But at the same time, it gets all confusing because people like also don't want to have a group practice, so they can have a bunch of refers. Okay. But everyone's doing the group practice model now, so that's like a whole other topic. But the main thing is like I'm still a dentist, so I can do.
You can technically do it, but you can't legally. I guess legally do it. Okay.
No, I can do it. If I was like I don't want to do orthodontics anymore, I can still be a dentist.
Okay.
But if I write in my practice that I'm limited to orthodontics, then I have to only do ortho.
Wow. I didn't know that. So I have like a quirky question. I keep seeing things about Smile Direct Club.
Yes.
What is it, like DIY?
Ortho?
Yeah. What's your opinions on that? Like, should people use it, or should people definitely just come to the orthodontist? What are your opinions?
Definitely do not do any of those companies.
No Instagram.
Right. Instagram, right?
To be honest, like, I think there are some people that could probably do it, and it would be fine, but that's like a very limited group of people. That's like people who had braces and then like one tooth is like a little bit rotated or a little bit buccolingual, and it's like anterior tooth. Like I just don't see the model working, and I see a lot of people that are going to develop problems, that are going to develop open bites and posteriorly. I mean, dentists themselves, like general dentists and orthodontists, are still learning Invisalign and like still don't know how to like perfectly treat with it yet.
It's new.
But I will say they are doing a lot of marketing. Their budget is $300 million. And so they're creating awareness. I think they're getting a lot of people that never would have considered braces to consider braces or consider clear aligner therapy. So that's good.
Yeah. But I feel like the price is almost the same. I think like I looked at one of them and it was maybe like $120 or something like that
a month.
Yeah,
it's still like $2,000.
It's still the same.
You're really not saving any money.
It's like the microwave convenient version of
Yeah.
what you really should get.
Yeah, if you have one tooth out of alignment, like I will do it for the same price.
See, hey, come see Dr. Lou.
I guess just to wrap it up, one last question is like, if you have any like tips, like what were the big tips or the big take homes that you would give to anyone that's thinking about ortho, or maybe someone you're trying to convert to go into ortho, to sway into going to ortho? Like, what would you tell them right now? Like, what things would you point out?
So I think everyone should learn more about orthodontics. It's an extremely powerful treatment planning tool. I think a lot of people might try to do like crowns or veneers to like hide rotated teeth or tip teeth, and I just think ortho is just like so much more stable, like long term, and so at least like understand what ortho can do, educate your patients, be like, ortho can last you a lifetime, and that's like your real tooth, and you don't need to cut anything. I know it's like might not be like the most economically or financially desirable, but we gotta look out for our patients. So that's one thing. And then the other thing for people applying to ortho, talk to the residents at your school. We most of us just graduated, so I think we're pretty approachable. Talk to the faculty. All dental school faculty are so nice, and they want to help you. Like that's why they're working at school. Like
right. They want to help.
They want to help. And they love when you just go to the office and be like, hey, like I'm interested in ortho. Like, what can I do to like become a better applicant? Like, what research are you doing? It's like don't be afraid.
All right, FutureDDS family, it was a short interview, but we're sure that you all have some more questions for Dr. Luke. Is it okay if they get your contact information?
Yeah, so you can always email me at lucas.shapiro@tufts.edu. You can also come to the 11th floor if you go to Tufts, say hi to me and my co-residents. And then I also, I'm part of #IgniteDDS, which with Dr. David Rice, awesome organization. You can always contact me there too, lucas.shapiro@ignitedds.com. We're all about just like linking people to different mentors and different events around the country, and just helping you become like the best dental student you can be. You can check out my page, also Future Dentist.
Well, thank you, Luke, for your time. Appreciate you coming. Take some time out from your busy schedule. We'll make sure we put those links or the information on probably in the description. We actually have an interview with Dr. Rice of IgniteDDS. We did that last week, so check out that video. Other than that, make sure you go to our page, Luke's page, follow him at Future Dentist, follow us at _FutureDDS. If you have any further questions, like you said, hit us up, DM us, add it down to the comments if it can help everyone out. Other than that, it's gonna be it. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for joining and watching us.
All right, y'all.
Bye.